Hey, we're back. We've been having some fun talking about the Marine Corps celebration. We've touched on a lot of things. We don't forget to stick around at 10 o'clock for FYN Sports. I know we're going to probably be able to talk a little bit about the Pickens County Dragons and their big win over White County the other night, whitewashing at White County, 45-0 or 42-0, something like that. But it was a shutout. Anyway, we'll hear from that at the 10 o'clock hour. We're joined this morning by our friends from Fannin County, Blue Ridge, Georgia, Marine Corps gentlemen. We got Dale Green to my immediate right, and to my far right, Jim Brumbelow. Jim and Dale, as we showed you over the last half hour, a series of pictures from the Marine Corps Ball. We had a great time Saturday night. They wanted to emphasize to everybody again, it's not just for Marine Corps veterans, folks, and it's not for just veterans. It's for friends. It's for those that want to support, attend, and it'll be next year, I'm assuming, at North Georgia Technical College again?
Most likely.
Most likely, yep. Okay. Well, we're not gonna worry about that right now, but suffice to say we had a great time. What we want to talk to now is about the logo that you see up in the top corner, and that is Toys for Tots. Mm-hmm. Toys for Tots is a Marine Corps campaign, a nationwide campaign, and there's different individual campaigns throughout the country. We have one that we can be very proud of up in Blue Ridge, Fannin County, that was started, I believe, 4 years ago, Jim?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay, we're in our third year. Give us a little bit of history of Toys for Tots, if you will. Just the overall 70 years of it being in existence.
Well, Toys for Tots began actually in 1947.
Okay.
And the genesis of it is the wife of a reserve Marine major in California made a doll and asked the major to get it to an organization that would in turn get it to a child that may not have Christmas. And when the major attempted to try to do that, he discovered there was no such organization.
Wow.
So from that began Toys for Tots, when they determined that they would collect toys and get them to children who otherwise may not enjoy Christmas. And it became a Marine Corps program. It falls directly under the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and it's nationwide. And we take pleasure in, as General Mattis said quite some time ago.
Mad Dog Mattis.
Mad Dog Mattis. Quite some time ago,
guy.
I thought one of his best quotes, and he's a very quotable guy, is that we want to show the world that the United States Marine is no worse enemy and no better friend. And so we think of this as the friendship part.
You said a mouthful when you said he's very quotable. My favorite quote is when someone asks him what makes him lose sleep at night. He says, "I don't lose any sleep. I make other people lose sleep." Jim, you were involved in the start of the local campaign. Tell us about that.
Well, when I retired from business, I knew I had to do something to stay busy. Dale and I met in the barbershop, got to talking, and became part of a group that planned the first Marine Corps Ball. And we had to have an organization to be the overall organization for that, which turned into the Marine Corps League detachment in Blue Ridge. And we both decided that the Marine Corps League should not be just a social organization, but should be something involved in the community, to help the community. And we talked further, and both of us were extremely interested in Toys for Tots and decided that's what we would do. So this is our third campaign year. They're called campaigns. I got elected to go to Quantico for 4 days of training, so I'm the guy who gets to sign all the documents. But Dale is just as involved as I am.
I mean that's really an important piece of this puzzle, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, to go to get recognized, to be part of Toys for Tots nationwide, and go through the rigors of figuring out what the protocol is and how to implement that locally.
It is a very tightly run organization.
As you would expect from the Marine Corps.
Exactly.
That's true.
Every toy is inventoried and accounted for. Every dollar that we collect is accounted for. I have to send in it's called an after-action report by January the 15th of every year, which details how the money was spent that we collected, where the toys were donated, how many children were served, how many people are in the local area that we serve, etc. So it's a very rigorous endeavor, but we enjoy it.
I'm sure all those stats then get compiled into a nationwide reporting base that shows, yes, what we do collectively and individually.
Right, and then that report is then delivered to the Commandant of the Marine Corps, who oversees this from the get-go.
The buck stops with him.
The buck stops
there.
Yeah, got it. What? Tell me about the logistics of the whole thing. I'm a needy family in North Georgia. I can't provide as I would like for my kids over the holidays, and I would like to make application to be part of the program. What do I do?
Okay, there are several ways that an application can be submitted. We have paper applications which are available through the Fannin Food Bank, the Fannin Family Connection. We pick those up on a regular basis. They can also go online. If you go online to toysfortots.org, it will direct you to the local site, and you can actually fill out an application online. I've already received a half a dozen applications online thus far. And
we'll feature that on the website. It's toysfortots.org, and when you bring up that website, it'll ask you for state, and then it'll ask you for county. And the county campaign will come up, and under that campaign, you'll have a myriad of questions, right, that you need to fill out. It's not that onerous. I mean, it's if you want to participate, you go through the drill.
Right. It's basically it's the family name, the children's name, their ages, their sexes, and what the parents would like to provide for those children. We do not provide any clothing, and we do not provide electronics.
It's strictly
toys. No electronics, no clothing, no food.
No food.
Okay, I'm selected, and do you notify the people that are selected? How does that next step work?
The ones that submit via email, I will send them back a reply and tell them that they are approved, and that we will call them. And we always ask for 2 phone numbers so that we can make sure that we were able to contact those individuals and let them know when they can pick up their order. And we will start packing and processing orders next week, actually.
I'm sure those 2 phone numbers also provide for a little bit of checks and balances, right?
They do.
I mean, let's not get in the weeds on this, but if you've got and I don't care what program it is, folks, if it's a worthwhile program, some will try to find a way to abuse it. Very, very, very small percentage, and I'm not casting aspersions. All I'm saying is that, let's make sure that all of the requests are legitimate and they're going for what the program is designed for.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
We actually have a database now, which we prepared over the summer. We served 792 children last year.
Yes.
And that was just in Fannin County. And so now we can track phone numbers, children's names to cross-reference and make sure that somebody's not trying to double dip us. We want to provide toys for children. We do not want to
the program is
disqualify
designed
anybody.
that way.
Exactly.
Right. It's not meant to be exclusionary. It's meant that these people want to reach out. They just want it to be done in keeping with the guidelines that have been set up by the Corps.
That's correct.
Yeah. Donation points, whether it be toys, cash can be donated any time during the year, correct?
We like cash.
We like cash.
Yeah. So if that cash then is converted into
toys,
is that how it works?
Yeah. Every penny it goes to buy toys.
Okay.
And we typically buy toys that have not been donated if we have a specific need for a certain type of toy. Last year's hot toy, I think, was bubble something.
Yeah.
Bubble.
Bubble whatever, huh?
Bubble whatever, and if we don't have enough bubble whatevers donated, we'll take the cash.
We'll take the cash
and go buy bubble whatevers.
Yeah. You'll see on the website, folks, if you want to donate, there are some buttons there. You know, go as large as you like, or Jim said, there's up on the screen right now is what the website looks for.
Right.
James Brumbelow, Toys for Tots coordinator. You have a donate now button in the lower left-hand corner, right, and that thing will pop up, and they'll look for the donation and convert that to toys. Really good point.
We're very proud of the fact that 97 cents out of every dollar that's donated goes to buy toys.
I guarantee you that if you evaluate all of the charitable organizations across the country, that'll be in the top 1%.
Absolutely.
Yes. I guarantee you, just not knowing, but I can just tell you that if 97 cents, 97% of every dollar is going to the exact service that they're going to provide to the program, that'll be in the top 1%. If you want a great place to give Toys for Tots. These guys and all the volunteers, their wives. We've got Deb from Trio. I mean, you can't say enough about this lady. She gives her time, her effort. She's one of the many volunteers that make such a difference in the lives of these children, including these two gentlemen right here. And we sincerely appreciate the service that you provide and all the other volunteers in Blue Ridge and Fannin County.
We're delighted.
Anything that we left off on Toys for Tots before we move on to...
Well, we do have a lot of collection boxes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Collection areas, sure.
You can't swing a dead chicken without hitting a collection box. So please, if you see a collection box, go buy a toy and drop it in it. If you want to contribute money, we'll take the money. The interesting thing is that we never have enough toys for the younger children, and we never have enough toys for the older children donated, and that's what we use the money for.
To convert and
it into
and fill those voids.
Fill those voids.
Right.
Folks, fill the voids out there for these the children in need in Fannin County. Bring a smile to someone's face Christmas morning. Bring a smile to a child's face that is in need. This is a great service. It's something that these two gentlemen and all the volunteers associated with are proud of, and they should be proud of it, and we're proud of the efforts that they put forth. So, Toys for Tots in Blue Ridge and Fannin County. Guys, thank you. I want to touch at the end of our Veterans Day on something that I mentioned earlier, and that is taking care of our vets. And you two collectively have mentioned an organization in Atlanta that I was hopeful that maybe during the last couple of minutes that we have you could detail, and that is Shepherd's Men. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Shepherd's Men.
Shepherd's Men is a volunteer organization primarily made up of veterans, although not exclusively, and it's associated with the Shepherd Spinal Center.
In Atlanta, on Peachtree Road.
On Peachtree Road.
Yep.
And the Shepherd's Men group raises funds to do two things. If a veteran is hurt physically and requires services at the Shepherd Center, then they try to support that veteran and his family. But the other thing that they do is they work with veterans that are suffering from mental damage, mental health. There are 22 veteran suicides every day.
Every day in the nation?
Every day. 22 veteran suicides every day. And
that's staggering.
It's a pretty significant number.
It's very, very sad, and that's why I mentioned earlier in the show, we're dealing with things right now that we really, never understood in the past. In World War II, they called it battle fatigue, and now it's come to the acronym of the PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress syndrome, which results in suicides. It results in
broken marriages, homelessness.
Anything, including but not limited to the shooting in California that's attributed to that, sadly. So I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're hitting key points. The group, the Shepherd's Men, they're one of their primary.
Wow, look at this.
There's their run.
That's Josh, man. Josh at the controls. They're right on it.
They're finished. That's finishing up one of their runs They've run from, in fact, I see my son in the background there. They run
Really?
from New York to Atlanta, and they get contributions based on the miles they run. Every person runs with you can see they're wearing a 22-pound flak jacket. And the 22 pounds represents the 22 veteran suicides.
Wow.
So as they run from Boston to Atlanta or New York to Atlanta or Kansas City to Atlanta, when they're running, they're wearing that 22-pound flak. And as you can see, the number 22 there above the Shepherd's Men logo.
And they're running to reduce the weight of that flak jacket.
They're running to get money to go into the program to help veterans and reduce that 22 number to something else.
Which inadvertently reduces the pounds that they've got to carry. So let's reduce the weight on those guys and gals as they how is there a way to support Shepherd's Men?
Well, yes, we as one of our charities from our Marine Corps League detachment, we financially support the Shepherd's Men.
Okay.
So if someone would like to get money to the Shepherd's Men and you can't find a way to do it, just contact one of us at the league. We'll take your check and we'll combine it with ours, and we submit that once a year.
I got you. And those funds those can be donated to your detachment and earmarked specifically for Shepherd's Men?
That's correct.
Right.
Okay. Where's that organization? Is it headquartered somewhere and we have a chapter in Atlanta? Is that how it works?
No, it is an Atlanta-based organization.
It's Atlanta-based. Okay, wonderful.
It is an Atlanta-based organization. They're beginning to spread their wings a bit, but it is in Atlanta. They're a 501c3. They're a legitimate nonprofit organization. And I am absolutely certain that if you looked at their 990, their percentage is every bit as high as our Toys for Tots.
I'm sure that that's the case. We'll close the show by saying thanks. Thanks to all of our veterans. Thanks to those that have given the ultimate sacrifice, their lives for the defense of our country. Without them, we wouldn't enjoy the freedoms that we have today. I want to thank Jim Brumbelow, and I want to thank Dale Green, my good buddies from the same barbershop in Blue Ridge. They put on a great military ball Saturday night. We were delighted to be in attendance, delighted to have them with us this morning. Happy to talk about Shepherd's Men, happy to talk about Toys for Tots and what a difference it makes in children's lives. So we always make it a little bit of a point on a Monday to get out of here a few minutes early so Josh can get ready for the sports show, which is going to highlight the Pickens Dragons in their quest for their first state title as they take on Troup County Tigers next week in Jasper at 7:30. Josh, thank you as always for the great job you do behind the scenes. I knew I threw a lot at you today. Hopefully it was meaningful, those out there that have been watching the show. Once again, you can get these different segments on the YouTube channel, the FYN YouTube channel. Spread the news about Toys for Tots. Spread the news about the Marine Corps Ball. We'd love to have you. We'd love to see you next year. Tell us that you heard about us on Fetcher News. Support the sponsors that make this show possible. And once again, thank you to my guests. Brian is going to be back tomorrow. He's out on assignment. He's going to get in the weeds with you folks. He's going to talk about what a mishmash of voting irregularities we've got across this country and how we can reconcile it. And that's about all I got. Thanks for tuning in, and I am out of here.